to this item of presentation that came from the Auditor General. Mr. Speaker, CDF is at the heart of Kenyans. Perhaps of all the funds we know of, CDF is the best known all over. Not just because it is called Constituency Development Fund, but it's because of what it does. Everything that CDF does is at the heart of every Kenyan. If you talk of schools, CDF is leading. And what CDF does is graciously helping today and the future Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, when we talk of CDF, I wish the government could be with us together in the thought, because we are helping the government as well. We are helping the Kenyans as well. If you are to properly report what CDF has done, really, you would think it is the institution that the government should emphasize on in development. I do agree that some of the mistakes occurred. I don't know whether they are professional mistakes or whether they are mistakes of the kind which is very predominant in the Kenyan government service. That's the normal corruption we know of. Yes, one may say this and that are corruption. If they are, then maybe appropriate action can be taken. But we should not just blind ourselves and see nothing but CDF without considering that the whole government system, be it national government or county, corruption is almost living with every person that's at the top there going down. So this is not just an issue that can be treated by saying it is this particular case. I wish there was a possibility that the government can overhaul its idea on the managerial system being used so that a method can be found that would get us out of this menace of corruption, right from the top in national government to the lowest level possible, and a similar thing be done at the county level. That's when we can say, when we get a positive result, that's when we can say, yes, we have done some work. But just to isolate CDF and think of it alone without considering others, and probably punish those in CDF alone without punishing any other person in any other arm of government, will be discriminatory, and I would say would be wrong. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me just get you back to what I was saying, what I started with, which is the work and contribution CDF or NGCDF has done to this country. I started by talking of schools, the buildings, classrooms. Honestly, I think I would say without fearing that many schools have been built because of CDF. I remember last year or the year before last, the government was building some classrooms to accommodate, I don't know whether it was JSS, but then if you look at the quality of work they did, I'm now referring to my own constituency, the quality of work they did compared to mine, we are miles apart. What they did is completely junior to what I did with the CDF. I can therefore stand very strongly up and say that with the CDF, I did, with the same amount, I did a lot more than what the government did with the amount they used during the late Professor Magoha's time. If they have a project like that one for future, if they want to get the result equal to the funds they spent, I would urge that they use CDF. They will say they have scored because they will have achieved their objective. Yes, I know we have many things that need to be done, like JUS as almost. They don't have laboratories in many schools. They don't have classrooms in many schools. They are still lacking in building in several ways. If the national government wanted this to be built, they should use CDF, NGCDF, and give that money to NGCDF to do the work for them. They will then have an opportunity to see what NGCDF can do. And then even on the security side, because our mandate covers security and education, on the security side, we have built a number of classrooms for the administration, the former provincial administration. We have built a number of offices for them, which I think is a noble thing. It is done. But then come the year 22-23, Mr. Speaker, I am a very disappointed MP, and I know I'm disappointed together with my colleagues, because the financial year is ending. Today is 6th. It is ending in, well, I would say 24 days' time. And yet, the government has been adamant. We make noise, nobody listens. They don't want to give us the remaining part of the money. I'm almost certain, because I heard the leader of majority saying we are going to get some answer to the question that was asked by one of us. I know they probably will say, yeah, you are going to get it within such and such a time. But maybe we are now used. The promises are always there. We get them, but the action doesn't follow. We are immune to what they say, because they say it and nothing is done. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think the members of parliament should now come up strongly and say with one strong voice that we cannot go ahead with any bill until this money is given. Because it's the money that helps our people. If we don't get it, Mr. Speaker, even your position as a member of parliament is in the limbo. It is under threat. You cannot be sure that wananchi will feel you did any work for them. Because the major work we do for the people directly is what we do with the CDF. That's why it is important CDF is given to us so that we can be productive in line with our promises to those who elected us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me the opportunity. I support.
Thank you, Honorable Andrew Ukome. Is there any more? I'm not seeing any more. Is Honorable Gertrude Mbeyu in the house? It's a request by Honorable Gertrude Mbeyu. She must have stepped out. There being no further interest or request to speak to the motion, I now call upon the mover to reply.